Today, I'm doing something that no attorney has done for you on YouTube. We work with an attorney, we do 2025 EB1A petitions and O1 petitions combined per month. But what we see on a daily basis, it's just so hard to convey that to you without actually showing this. And I think this is going to be a dissection that you will remember. Take a look at this petition. I'm dissecting this for you today. I'm showing you the appeal. So what happens is after you file an I-140, you say, hey, I should be given an EB1A. And then USCIS director comes up and they say, you know what, you don't qualify. You are not meeting those 3 out of 10 pointers. Then at that point, you have an option. And that option is you spend a little bit extra and you get an appeal done. In an appeal, you can try to convince USCIS that, hey, I actually qualify these pointers. There's something unfair that's being done. And the director has rejected my petition unfairly. And this is the result of that appeal I'm showing you over here. If you take a look at the appeal, the petitioner was a person who was a senior product manager. They work in the field of cloud computing and they were seeking clarification that no, I do meet the 3 pointers. I should be given the EB1A approval, essentially the I-140 approval. And this is the USCIS's official response. So we're going to study that together and you will see exactly why the petitioner got rejected, what kind of evidence they submitted, what got approved, what you should be submitting. I think it'll give you so much more ideas. We're going to start with this, but please, please, please make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel and share this video with the people who need to know, who are on the same journey, because there's just so few of us who know that this is, but you would see this is actually possible. Few of us think that this is possible, but a lot of it is possible. And I'm going to show you this today as to how normal people can actually get this done. Senior product manager, remember that, yeah? Let's start. We will go down. I mean, this is basically just USCIS telling us that, okay, you need to have extraordinary ability, small percentage of people who are very on top of their field. So, you should either have a big major award, which you don't have. So if you don't have that, then you need to satisfy those 3 pointers out of 10 that you can find on YMGrad.com very easily. I've simplified them for you with bolding of the parts that need bolding, right? If you don't know these pointers, you should probably hit pause on the video right now. Make sure you read through them because this is information you need to know. This is what qualifies you for the EB1A. All right, continuing now. Analysis is as follows. The first thing you would see is that, analysis is right over here and director's conclusion can be different and USCIS's review, which happens after the appeal, can be different. So if the director says you're meeting 2 out of these 10 requirements, well, USCIS can come in and say, no, you're meeting 3 and they can approve your I-140. Or they can say, no, you're only meeting 1. So they can change it if they want, by the way. This is the purpose of an appeal, to get a rejudging done, essentially. So the first one over here that the petitioner tried to prove was this one, that they had some memberships in associations which require outstanding achievements of their members. And the petitioner claimed to meet this criterion as he's a senior member of IEEE. I know many of you guys try to use IEEE senior membership, but then take a look at this, right? This one could not be approved. Why? Let's see. They say, however, the petitioner must also show that in order to obtain a senior membership, he was judged by recognized national or international experts as having attained outstanding achievements in their field of cloud computing. To establish this, the petitioner provides the IEEE senior member requirements and a documented title, IEEE Admission and Advanced Review Panel Meeting Schedule, describing the selection process. The IEEE senior membership requirements state that a candidate for senior membership should be an engineer, scientist, educator, technical executive in the field of engineering, computer sciences, IT, physical sciences, biology, medical sciences, and all of these, right? In addition, candidates must have been in the professional practice for at least 10 years and should have shown a significant performance over the last 5 years at least. The IEEE requirements document advise that many prospective applicants make the mistake of assuming that significant performance requires special awards, patents, or other extremely sophisticated technical accomplishments, but this is not the case, as substantial job responsibilities as team leader, task supervisor are all indications of significant performance. The IEEE senior membership requirements do not indicate that the IEEE requires outstanding achievements of its members as judged by nationally or internationally recognized experts. So as you can see, if we look at this paragraph, this is a very important drawing over here where they go deeper. Essentially, they say, okay, the IEEE requirements state that you should be having essentially 10 years of, this experience. Essentially, you should be an engineer, you should be a scientist with the last 5 years of significant performance. But nowhere does it say that your profile goes through a blind review of your profile, where basically, it's not even about a blind review, but experts in the field who already have the membership should be judging you, and then you should be getting this membership. You see how important it is to use the right attorney, because that is something that is true in the case of IEEE membership. If you are a member, you only become a member if someone essentially nominates you, and they should be an IEEE member, and then they judge your profile, and the people who are judging, they already hold the memberships. They just did not show the right thing. But you see how important this information is. Now that you petition, you will know not to make this mistake, right? That's why we're studying this. Stay with me. I know this gets a bit fairly boring sometimes, but stay with me and trust me, you'll find that it's worth it. Let's take a look at the next one. Yep. Evidence of aliens' original scientific, scholarly, artistic, athletic, or business-related contributions of major significance. So over here, you want to show some research work, something else. Well, this petitioner showed an application that is a major application in their field that they have built, apparently. So let's look at that. This one is a little bit difficult because the director concluded that the petitioner fulfilled this criterion, but did not identify the original contributions made by the petitioner. So they just didn't identify it. But the director said initially, when the applicant petitioned, that, hey, you know what, this one is getting fulfilled. However, after you appealed, USCIS now says that no, this is not essentially good enough. We do not essentially go with the director on this one. You'll see this happen right over here. It's very interesting. So they talk about how the petitioner asserts that the development of the, let's call this XYZ software, and an XYZ tool satisfy this criterion. With respect to the software, petitioner provides letters, PowerPoint presentation, and press releases about the software. The letters in the record demonstrate the petitioner's involvement in the development of the software, for example, principal systems, yada yada, all of this stuff, right? Then at the end they say, okay, you know what? That's fine. Thus, while blank and blank explain how petitioner's development of the tool has been of major significance, and to its customers, they do not specifically articulate how this development is major significance to the field of cloud computing as a whole. See, the major mistake people make is when this point comes up, you have to talk about how the whole field is benefiting from the work that you've done. This petitioner talks about how particular clients or how particular companies are benefiting. That's not it. That can come under the critical role pointer, which is a separate pointer if you look at it. This is the original contribution pointer. Again, they'll go deeper into this. So they'll say, okay, you know what? Regarding the tool, the petitioner submits letters of recommendation, PowerPoint presentations, technical documentation, and news articles to show that the tool has been implemented by other companies. The PowerPoint presentation authored by the petitioner details the step-by-step development to identify him as one of the 3 core members. Okay, then this documentation is sufficient to establish that the petitioner's role is there in developing the tool. That means the petitioner is actually the person who has developed it. That much we know. That is fine, right? However, the record does not demonstrate the tool's major significance in the field. Why? Well, because the letters describe its importance. The petitioner goes ahead and gives presentations and all of that. But then later on, they will say, mm, regarding the newsletters, they show that a law firm and a state university now utilize the tool. One law firm and one state university. However, the petitioner does not explain or provide evidence how a law firm and a university are representative of the field of cloud computing as a whole. It doesn't show that it's widespread being used just because one law firm and one particular state university is using. You have to go deep and show that how this work is essentially impacting the whole field itself. And if you say, okay, this law firm and this state university is a representative of the whole field, then you have to show how, because it does not really make sense originally. And it can be a little bit subtle, it can be a little bit difficult to understand, but if you really focus on it, it does make sense. So that's why they say, for the above stated reasons, the petitioner has not satisfied this criterion, and we will withdraw the director's findings in this matter, because the director initially approved this pointer. However, they are withdrawing their decision. So the petitioner now has one less point on his side, even after he actually petitioned, and the goal was to get one more. Anyway, you see how this gets interesting, right? I don't know why, but this thing is very interesting to me. I know it can be boring. Let's move on. Evidence that the alien has performed a leading or critical role for an organization and establishments that have a distinguished reputation. Now, this one is not field specific. It's not about the whole field of cloud computing, but about a particular organization. Take a look at what the petitioner submitted. So the petitioner asserts that he meets this criterion through the development of the tool discussed above. Here, the records includes the PowerPoint presentation describing the duties he performed in so doing, and the press releases and letters of recommendations. And the letters demonstrating that the development has been critical for the organization. The petitioner also submits documentation about blank to establish its distinguished reputation. Accordingly, we agree with the director that the petitioner satisfies this criterion. Done. Easy. So when it comes to a particular company, a particular organization, when you're talking about, okay, this tool has benefited them and you can attach proof for that organization, it works. It basically makes sense. So this one point, twice now the director has approved it and USCIS has also approved it in the appeal. So this is how you do it. These are the documentation you want to include. Now you know. Okay, let's move on. Evidence that the alien has a high salary or other significantly high remuneration for services in relation to the others in the field. The record provides an employment certification from his employer establishing his base salary and comparable salary documentation for senior product managers from Glassdoor, PayScale, and the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, if you've had a meeting with me or if you've attended one of my sessions, you know that we use this pretty much on a daily basis. This evidence demonstrates that the petitioner's base salary is high relative to that of the other senior product managers. Accordingly, we agree with the director that the petitioner meets this criteria. And so the second one also, they now agree. This is good enough. No problem with this one. It's working well, right? And this one, there's no shred of doubt again over here. So 2 points at this point he still has on his side. The third one, previously the director only said that no, it's not there because of so and so reason. They just had to provide proof, but apparently they appealed. So this is what's going on. And now see, 2 points, you know how he used to fulfill. But at the end of the day, 2 is still not as good as 3. 3 is the bare minimum you need to get the EB1A approval. We all know that. And that's why they say the appeal is dismissed. The petitioner has not demonstrated his ability or eligibility as an individual of extraordinary ability, and the appeal is dismissed. So they've explained everything. You see how beautifully they explain it, each and every point. So you would be able to find out, and this costs money, of course, but you'd be able to find out exactly why you've gotten rejected, what is the reason in depth, essentially. And I'll tell you one thing. For the profiles who actually meet the criteria, and you use the wrong attorney, you use someone's services that does not know what they're doing, this is the result you're looking at. Because truth be told, if you ask me, this applicant comes to me, I'm going to tell them you're eligible. You're more than eligible. So why is it that they were not able to get approved? Because the attorney failed to show many things that I talked about previously. They just failed to show that IEEE senior members are judging this thing, and then you're getting this membership and so on and so forth. If they could only show it properly, this would have been a done deal. This person would have gotten their green card by now. So that's it. And I hope that this video helps. I know it's a in-depth evaluation. I know not everyone enjoys going very deep, but I think if you go technically deep into it, I think you really understand what is required, and that's what I wanted to show you guys. One bonus I have for you guys: if you have stuck around till now, please listen to it. Go on to YMGrad. I urge you, go on to YMGrad.com. You'll see my chat box over there. Send me your resume. I'll do a free evaluation for you. I'll send you a voice note in my voice. You'll know it's me. I'll do a free evaluation and I'll let you know if your profile is eligible. You don't know. You might already be eligible. See, that's the thing. Most people just don't know. And maybe with just a little bit of work, you might become eligible. Make sure you watch this. This video is important, and make sure you reach out to me over there and we'll take it from there. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your effort. And I hope that this helps. Goodbye and take care. Until the next one, subscribe to the channel.